Follow the money. That's what I always say. You always follow the money. Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Pauly Howard on VSiN.
Good to have you on board here on a Monday. We are live in downtown Vegas from the Circa Resort and Casino. We'll get into weekend betting takeaways coming up in 15 minutes. Kevin Rogers on the program with some great baseball numbers at the bottom of the hour. And here we begin the hour talking Game 5 NBA Finals as we head out to the Progressive guest line. VSiN's very own Zach Cohen joins the program now. He has dynamite write-ups and analysis on his best bets in the NBA, in tennis, and several other sports on a daily basis. Zach, good afternoon. Thanks for the time today. How are you?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Doing well. I'm looking at the screen right now. Most books still showing 9.5 tonight for the Thunder, and the total down from 225 to 224.5 at most. Caesar's still clinging to 225, but we've been teasing this throughout the show. You have a very strong opinion on the game tonight. The floor is yours, my friend. You've been great in the playoffs. Who do you like and why?
Yeah, I really like the Pacers plus 9.5. I just feel like this spread is 2 points off, even if you're being optimistic about what you saw from Oklahoma City during the regular season. It just feels kind of like we need to throw out what we saw from them earlier in the year. I know that it's a little crazy to say that after 4 games, but what have we seen in the last 2 games between these two teams that suggests that Oklahoma City should win by 10 plus? I mean, this team went 3 for 16 from 3 in Game 4, and obviously they stole that win. Maybe they deserved it after the way Game 1 was kind of taken from them, but I do think it's very difficult to win and win big in the NBA when you're not taking threes. I mean, not making them is one thing, but not taking them is another. The Pacers are doing a really good job of running them off the three-point line, and I also just think that Carlisle's doing a much better job than Dagnall in this series. I really don't know who the Thunder want to play right now. I mean, you look at their rotation. Last game, it was 6 guys. 2 of them, Chet Holmgren, Jalen Williams, I believe looked banged up in Game 4. Holmgren twisted his ankle like a million times in that game. I just don't know how healthy they are right now. And I don't know how, eager he is going to run back to guys like Isaiah Joe and Wiggins, guys that can knock down threes for them. They did not play in Game 4, didn't play well, at least in the 9 or 10 minutes they played. If they don't have a trustworthy rotation, it's going to be hard for them to blow out a Pacers team that has so many bodies they can throw at you.
So you like the 9.5. Are you also dabbling on the Pacers money line, like around plus 340 or thereabouts tonight as well?
Yeah, I like the money line a little bit. I think it's worth a sprinkle. I also think the Pacers plus 550 is worth a sprinkle in the series. I just don't think that there's that much that separates these two teams. I know that there's a full regular season that suggests otherwise, but Indiana has been dynamite throughout these playoffs. They've also been very good on the road. I know that winning, one of these games in Oklahoma City is going to be a challenge, but they have been trustworthy on the road throughout the postseason. I think they could win more of these.
Yeah, and to your point about the current number being 9.5, and you think that can't be that big of a number. Should we not be putting more stock into Indiana since like the beginning of the season? Neesmith was hurt for a while, came back. They've been a different team. And oh, by the way, since that date, and that could be arbitrary to some, but since the beginning of the year when the calendar flipped, second best record overall behind Oklahoma City. And then what they have done in the playoffs so far. And yet we're still seeing like Oklahoma City powered to the moon. And I hear people say, Indiana, okay, but just they don't do it for me.
Yeah, well, that's what's funny. I keep seeing people saying that all these Eastern Conference teams should go all in the offseason because Indiana's in the finals. They're not just in the finals. They're tied 2-2 with this historically good team. So maybe the Pacers deserve more credit, like you just said. I mean, since December, this has been a top 7 team in terms of both offensive and defensive efficiency. We've now seen them, beat Cleveland in the playoffs, a team that other people thought could win the NBA title. And obviously health wasn't on Cleveland's side there, but they did have a few games where they were healthy and the Pacers did take it to them. So I just think we need to treat this Pacers team like they belong in these NBA finals. It's not the same team we saw to start this season.
Great point. And also that's one of the reasons why the Magic made that trade for Bane. They said, well, look what the Pacers just did. And they said, well, they got the second best record since January. I mean, it's everyone's treating it like it's kind of a fluke. Good point.
Yeah, and I get that. I love the Bane trade for the Magic. I think going out and getting a shooter like that when you desperately need three-point shooting is huge. I just do think it's funny to hear people kind of disparaging the Pacers while making these claims about the Eastern Conference offseason.
Okay. How about Ben Shepherd over 2.5 points tonight? What do you think? He's gone over in every game.
I like that one. I always like a play where you're just rooting for a corner three to go in. Like he's going to have an attempt at some point, and you're going to feel really good standing up and hoping it goes down. I like that one. Another one that I like in this game is Obi Toppin over points. I believe it was 10.5. Yep. I just think we've seen enough these last two games where it looks like, the analytics back it up too, where they've been at their best with Toppin at the center position. Turner has not played well in this series so far. So I think Toppin's going to get some burn. Maybe he won't shoot as well from three as he did in Indiana, but I do think he's going to do enough, as a play finisher and just in transition I could see 11 points being a pretty realistic number.
Who do you trust overall for Oklahoma City other than SGA? I was making the case for Alex Caruso maybe a little bit earlier. And then what do you make of SGA's points prop tonight as well, fluctuating between 33.5 and 34.5 in this game?
Yeah, I think the over is always going to be a good play, just given the volume, and I do think he's going to get a better whistle at home than we saw it in Indiana. I do like Isaiah Hartenstein to have over 8.5 combined rebounds and assists. That was plus 105 last night. Still out there at minus 140, which is a little juicy, but he has been going over this in 2 of the last 3 games. I think that they are kind of trusting him to kind of go out there and create a little offense for them. I know that they are putting the ball in SGA's hands a lot. I know Hartenstein's not a guy that people think of as a playmaker, but he is a really good playmaking hub for them. And I do think that his offensive rebounding has been big. So I think that he's kind of won the trust back of Dagnall. Like I said before, like they're only playing 6 guys now. Hartenstein's back up to playing 20 minutes or so. And I do think he's going to be able to do that tonight. So I think 8.5 is a very reasonable number for him.
Zach, the total again at 224.5, most spots now, still at 225 out there. And we've seen this be an under series and it trending that way. Is it pretty much the right number at this point in your opinion, or maybe still worth a play to the under?
I think it's still a little bit too high. I really like the under tonight. I did end up taking the Pacers as a bigger play, and I don't really want too much action, so I'll probably going to stay away from the total. But if you look at the pace of play in this series, these teams are playing kind of like the 20th fastest team in the NBA in the regular season. So it's been slower. The Thunder have had success in slowing the Pacers down. And like I said before, if the Thunder are not shooting a lot of threes and not making them at a high clip, and if they're doing a good job of defending the 3-point line on the Pacers, it's going to be really hard for these games to go over. I mean, it was 221 in game 1, 223 in game 3, and 215 in game 4. It's been going under and it hasn't really been close. So I think that unless we see some outrageous shot making in this game, it should go under.
Zach Cohen, our guest. You can follow him on X. He's at Betting on X here on the Progressive Guest Line. Is Follow the Money on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network, and you can read his analysis and his best bets every single day at VSiN.com. You like grabbing futures as well. You put it out there to grab the Pacers to win the East many months ago at a huge number. Let me ask you this about Kevin Durant. So Mark Spears today on ESPN reported that KD wants to go to New York, but the Knicks don't want him. So then the 3 teams, according to the report, that KD either wants to go to or could land him in the offseason would be Miami, San Antonio, or Houston. If he goes to either one of those 3 teams, do you have any interest in grabbing a future bet on them?
Yeah, I think the Rockets with KD is an instant title contender. I just think adding a shot maker like him to what they already have, especially when talking about not giving up much of your rotation to get him. I mean, if they lose Jalen Green and they lose Jabari Smith, that's not, too much from what we saw against the Warriors in the postseason. So I think this is a team that is going to be really dangerous if they could bring in a 30-point per game scorer. So I definitely think Houston's a team to monitor. I will say I think KD is going to end up with Minnesota. I know that Shams said that that's not one of his preferred landing spots, but based on the stuff I'm hearing out here, like local reporters that I believe are trustworthy in Phoenix, it sounds like the Timberwolves have a really good offer on the table, and the Suns are trying to drive up the asking price with the teams that Durant does rather want to play for.
Oh, strong. Okay. Yeah. You're also big into tennis. Any futures we need to be looking at over the next month or so?
Man, I do like Sinner to win Wimbledon. I just think that at plus money odds, if you can grab him on a faster surface, it's always going to work out really well for you in the long run. I think even if he were to face Alcaraz in the final again, which I think everybody wants to see after that French Open final, having a plus 160 or so on him would feel really good, just given the conditions there. So I definitely think Sinner is worth a look for Wimbledon.
Very good. Zach, great appearance as always. Thanks so much for the time, and best of luck with the game tonight, okay?
Yep, thanks for having me on, guys.
There you go. Zach Cohen, VSiN.com. Join us on the Progressive Guest Line, and you can follow him on X. He is at Betting on X. So, I mean, he could not have – he obviously very strong in Indiana tonight.
Yep.
Points, money line, and maybe even a little bit at plus 550 or thereabouts to win the series.
Let me read this from Dan Karpuk, VSiN.com. Toppin has played 25, 19, 28, and 29 minutes. It's clear Carlisle trusts him on the floor and to stay on the floor. He's hit the 15-point mark in 3 of his last 4 games when logging at least 25 minutes. Goes back to Game 6 of the Eastern Conference Finals. He's 10.5 tonight. That's his points prop, 10.5.
You in?
Good case, yep. He wants to go 15 plus 3-1 at FanDuel. That's how he wants to play it.
Okay.
And then we got the Shepherd as well. Well, I'm not the only one who thought this. It jumps out. It hits you in the face. Durant's list. It's all state where he wants to go. No income tax.
No income tax, right.
So he's 37. He'll play this year. Then he wants the 2-year extension. He says, I'll sign with you. So then get 2 for 1, 22, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then he'll retire.
Yeah, won a couple of titles, and now it's just about making as much money as possible. I'm with Zach, by the way. If the Rockets would not gut their young core and they would bring in Durant, might be enough for me to grab a future on them to win the West.
Yes. Well, this is where it gets interesting because he's injury prone and he's 37. So Durant's camp is saying, don't ask for a fortune. You're not young anymore.
Yeah, he's not 30.
I don't think they're going to do that.
A lot of miles
that's
on the
why it's going to
odometer.
be right. That's why that's interesting what he said, that Minnesota might have to, because San Antonio's not going to go crazy. They're going to say, well, we'd like to have him, but we're not going to go nuts. We have some picks.
Here's the number 2 pick overall in the draft, and
they won't do that either. No, they won't. I don't think they're going to do that.
The Knicks should have a conversation.
That's stupid. I know.
Right?
I know. Come
All
on.
right, we'll get into weekend betting takeaways from, it was pretty phenomenal, like 48-plus hours next on Follow the Money. It's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Thanks for checking in here on a busy Monday. In 15 minutes, we'll dive into a Major League Baseball slate for tonight with Kevin Rogers. Awesome first 5 numbers and some K-props as well. Here, Pauly, a weekly thing now on Mondays, weekend betting takeaways. And after that trade yesterday, my reaction was I had to look up who the prospects were, as I typically have to do because I'm like, the pipeline here, I don't have it exactly memorized for every prospect in baseball. But the Giants gave up Kyle Harrison, Jordan Hicks, and 2 guys I'd never heard of, and then it feels like nobody else has really either heard of him as well. For Rafael Devers, who is, as Matt Vasgersian called him 2 hours ago on this program, a top 10, 15, 20 hitter in all of Major League Baseball, I was blown away what they did.
Why not put it out there and say,
yes,
open it up to a bidding war?
I'd be so pissed off if I lived in that area and if I was a lifelong Red Sox, especially after trading Mookie Betts. I still would not be over that trade, by the way. But so I'll flip it here. Like, to me, the Giants are clearly good now, 2.5 months into the season. Very good pitching. They add this guy now to the middle of that lineup. There's got to be a play here to make on this team. Is it 7-1 to win the division? Can they outduel the Dodgers? Maybe not. But
it could.
But how about in the playoffs, though?
Yeah.
When anything can happen.
Yep.
They're 12-1 to win the NL. And maybe my favorite bet on the Giants right now, you can find this at DraftKings. Will they win 90-plus games as even money? Don't hate it. I think they can push 90, 92, 93 wins at this point.
22-1 World Series, not bad either. Pitching's been great. Now you get that big stick in the lineup. Wow, what a move. That's aggressive, and I know they've had close calls in trying to get guys, but this is big to get, and they're paying the whole salary too. I can't believe how the Red Sox are acting like a small market team here after they used to spend. Tough for the fan base, but that was wild with that trade and what happened in the NBA with Bain as well.
I totally agree. So the Magic go out and get exactly what they needed, right? A guard who can shoot, and they get Desmond Bain. They gave him up. They gave up KCP. They gave up Cole Anthony and 4 first-round picks. I would say the Magic, although I like the deal for them next year short term, they are not worth a bet at the current price to win the East.
I don't mind it. 8-1?
8-1?
Yeah. Detroit's 20.
I'd take Detroit all day long over them.
Wow, this is what they really needed, though. It's hard to evaluate Orlando because they had so many injuries last year. But if they were healthy and now they couldn't shoot. They were the worst 3-point shooting team in the league. And now they get Bain, who's top number 2 guy in catch and shoot threes and 40% from 3. It's exactly what they needed. And Banchero's going to continue to improve, and they have a hell of a coach. So
Wagner's really, really good.
Yes.
I mean, that 1-2 combination there.
I definitely have Orlando than Boston. Boston might make significant changes and gut the roster. They're the same price.
Oh.
Give me Orlando.
They're not at 8-1. Like, I would look at them at 20-1, but 8-1 now. They're behind Cleveland. Come on. They're probably not close to Cleveland.
There's not a big gap between them and the Knicks. Orlando's going to have a good team.
You think the Magic are right behind the Knicks?
Yes, with this move, yes. He's a good player.
I hate
it's exactly what they needed, though.
Where would you put the 76ers if Embiid's healthy?
Well, come on. It was if.
I know. But the Celtics, depending on the moves that they make with that core, I can't put the Magic ahead of them. And I don't know what the Bucks are going to look like.
I think the Celtics are going to move people.
All right.
And move pieces. Plus your best players out for the year.
We disagree on that one, and we disagree on this one as well. And I'm saying I had Robert McIntyre at 100-1. Mm-hmm. He was one of the guys I added. If you listen to the shows at all when you were live in Omaha, I talked about this on Thursday. I went with a lot of chalk to set up my U.S. Open betting card. And then, like, at the airport on Wednesday flying out, I'm like, let me take a couple of bombs. And I took, guys who had no chance, very small pizza bets, but like Fitzpatrick and Rose. I also took Koepka. That looked good for one day. And then McIntyre at 100-1, nearly pulled it off yesterday. He's down to 20-1 at some books for the Open Championship next month. You can't bet that number.
Like 28-1. I love Bob.
Okay, well then here's what I'll say.
Love his game.
As always, shop around because you can still find 28 or 30-1.
Yeah.
Even if he wins it, you can't bet 20-1. If you like him, you have to shop around then and bet at least, I would say, 30-1 on the guy. He was 50-1 to win the Open Championship before this weekend. And he's going to be on your card.
Yep.
Just don't bet 20. If you bet 20-1, I'm going to break your legs.
He's got the same odds as Justin Thomas. Come on, who would you rather have?
God almighty.
Yeah, come on.
I said this earlier. I don't think I'd take JT at like 75-1.
Yeah.
And that's not because of what happened this weekend. It's because you can have the guy.
Yeah. What a tournament. What a finish. Incredible. Oh, nuts.
That was, am I exaggerating with this?
A 5-way tie on the back 9 and then a plethora of guys 1 or 2 shots back.
Yeah, Paul, like a 7 or an 8-way tie in a playoff was possible yesterday.
Yeah.
To me.
Not only with that, Rahm getting in the clubhouse early at 4 over, I thought could hold up.
Sure.
I had to take 150-1 in play.
The way it was trending. And look, I mean, I love majors. I've been watching them hardcore for 12, 15 years now. I've been betting on them for the most part during that time as well. And so a lot of them stick out over that time. I got to tell you, yesterday was the best Sunday to any tournament that we have had, any major we've had since Tiger in 2019 when he won the Masters, because that event still, I'll put the 2019 Masters against like any event ever. It was that good. But yesterday was the best Sunday in any major since then. It was that good. And I lost all my future bets.
And yes, a lot played into it. Leaderboard, stacked leaderboard, in play, weather, would they fit it in, playoff, unknown to win, all of it.
Yes.
Burns losing his mind. The ruling goes against him. He implodes. Hatton acting like a child. Love that, though. Throwing his club. Rory throwing his club. And the golf course won.
Every hole for Adam Scott.
Oh,
every hole for Sam Burns.
He couldn't finish top 10. Think about that.
The
guy's in second place.
The winner of the tournament, right, who was starting in good position, had 5 bogeys before he could blink yesterday. Mm-hmm. And that's the dude that came back and is like, nobody else going to take this? Okay, here I am. I thought if Scheffler could get the putter going yesterday, like, dude, if that guy goes in and posts even par, again, that changes. Like, when people are looking at the leaderboard who are out there like, oh, my God, Scotty's at even, and I'm at 2 over right now. Well, that's it. Now I got to just force things, and I can't remain composed here. And it was a phenomenal golf tournament. At this rate, Collier for the Minnesota Lynx in the WNBA will be extremely difficult to overtake to win the award. Even though in this segment a couple weeks ago I said now might be the time to bet Caitlin Clark. I'll add, never underestimate voters. Clark is plus 270, and I know that you saw the highlights at least. She was absolutely absurd in their win against the Liberty. The first loss the Liberty have had so far this year, and that stretch of play where she was just hitting 3 or 4 threes in a row and put up those crazy numbers. Paul, voters with awards, they lose their minds once in a while. And although Collier has been like the best player in the WNBA to date, probably with a bullet, you don't know what Clark's going to do to close the season.
Mm-hmm.
So she's probably going to be live
awesome.
here.
Yep.
And I dug into this a little bit more because people are making the case that Aaron Rodgers over passing yards this year, now that it's official, he's a Steeler, is a good bet. The number is 3,200.5 yards. He has been injured and missed games 3 times in his career. So clearly he did not go over that number. But the other 14 years, Pauly, where he stayed healthy, he blew by this number. So basically you are betting on an injury, yes or no, to the injury to happen to Aaron Rodgers. And if it doesn't happen and he plays in, let's say, 15 games, he will go over 3,200 yards passing. And the other takeaway is this. Big news yesterday, Joey Chestnut, he's back for the Nathan's Hot Dog Contest on July 4th. I think every sportsbook should allow cross-sport parlays with him to win the award. What do you think about that?
Oh, God. Come on. How high is he going to be, though? Oh, man.
Oh, $9.
More. I think more than that.
$2,000.
Oh, God.
But I'll go back to what Zach Cohen was saying. Okay, I'll take Skinner at plus 160 to win Wimbledon. I'll throw in a little Chestnut to win the hot dog eating contest. I'd like to sprinkle a little Shohei to win the MVP.
So we did, pizza plays in Tip Jar when we were in Omaha. That one ticket we showed from Andrew, it was Florida, OKC, Edmonton, and Rory Masters. $30 bet paid $24,000. Can you believe it?
Is that how big it was?
Yes. That stuff's awesome.
Oh, man.
And that's why fun to do pizzeria on a regular basis. Betting on sports, why not try the races? First Bet lets you wager on hundreds of races every day from top cracks across the U.S. and around the world. Sign up firstbet.com, promo code VSiN200. Get a 20% rebate for your first 60 days up to $200. Head to firstbet.com today. Jell-O Shot Challenge update. LSU's up to 14,000. We're only a couple days in. Oregon State, 1,400. Murray State, number 2, 6,600, although they were eliminated today.
Yeah.
Arkansas, third no-hitter ever. Wood with the record, 19 Ks. Arkansas was at 6,000. UCLA's not even to 1,000. Louisville, 1,300. Coastal Carolina, 4,000. See if LSU can break their own record. 14,000 already for LSU.
Kevin Rogers on the program next. We'll dive into today's Major League Baseball card. He has awesome first 5 numbers, K props as well. The Dodgers are on a 1-7 run in the situation tonight.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
With the Major League Baseball card tonight here, as we head out to the Progressive guest line, Kevin Rogers joins the program. He is with PrizePicks. You can follow him on X. He is at Rogers Picks. Kevin, good afternoon. Thanks for the time today. How are you?
Mitch, Paul, good to talk to you in the afternoon.
Yep, same here. Back at you. So let's begin with the biggest game tonight on the Major League Baseball card. Shohei Ohtani will be the opener. We don't know how long he's going to go for the Dodgers as they take on Dylan Cease and the Padres. Cease was just fantastic in his last start against LA. He struck out 11. What numbers kind of jump off the page in this game to you?
Well, the first thing, Mitch, for as good as the Dodgers are, they've had a lot of problems in the first 5 innings and home openers recently. Just 1-7 in their last 8, and 6 times they've scored 1 run or less. And in a few of those games, they've lost the likes of the Pirates to the Athletics. So to some not great opponents, the Giants got him on Friday night in the opener of this past series. And the big question mark is obviously Shohei Ohtani. How long will he go in this game, his first game back on the mound? But on the flip side with Dylan Cease, he's 1-4 his last 5 in the first 5 innings. The one win came against the Dodgers in their previous series in the last few weeks. And also LA threw out a bunch of openers or a bunch of different pitchers in that game, and Cease kind of cruised in that one. So kind of wondering if Cease can capitalize off that win against LA, now the second time going to LA. But obviously with Ohtani, to see where he is. But knowing Ohtani, will probably throw 5 or 6 scoreless innings to strike out 10 just because he's a freak. So that could happen. But also you can't neglect the fact that Dodgers have struggled in these home series openers, at least in the first 5 innings.
How about what do you have on the A's as they open up at home against Houston? This is strong.
What's interesting, Paul, is that the A's, their first 10 home openers in Sacramento, they did not lead after the first 5 innings. The first time they did came against Baltimore in the most recent home series. And obviously the A's are coming off this nice sweep over the Royals in Kansas City. But they've led one time. They've had a couple pushes, but they've led one time in 11 home openers in the first 5 innings at home. So it has not been very strong. We know how many runs have been scored in Sacramento in those games. Now they're facing an Astro team who handled them a few weeks ago in Houston, and the Astros are starting to pick it up a bit. But you wonder, too, with the A's off this sweep this past weekend, how they'll respond. But again, the numbers say that they may trail or be tied after the first 5 innings tonight.
You do a great job of tracking all the K-props from every pitcher in Major League Baseball and every team with first fives and the trends as well. So what do we make of the Red Sox and Mariners game tonight as Gilbert is back? You got some really good numbers here, but also there's no Rafael Devers here in the lineup for the Red Sox.
Well, Mitch, first Logan Gilbert. It's like Ohtani making his first start of the season. Logan Gilbert back after a while. He made 6 starts earlier in the season before he got hurt. He had 7 strikeouts or more in 5 of those 6 starts. So Gilbert pretty strong. And the number we had talked about last season, that the Mariners at home with Gilbert in the first 5 were almost an automatic under. It was always a 0-0, 1-0, 2-0 game. But again, you wonder now, his first start back after a while. And Boston traveling out west after this huge sweep of the Yankees. They're 5-0 overall their last 5. They're 5-0 in the first 5 innings in their last 5. But when these teams met at Fenway back in April, all 3 of the games went over in the first 5 innings. All 5, 6, 7 runs scored in the first 5, so you kind of wonder too. But Seattle off a sweep of Cleveland, I think that's kind of being swept under the rug after or all the conversation with the Red Sox and what they've done in the Devers trade, that Seattle has played very well of late also after they had some struggles there to close out May and early June. So you wonder now if Giolito gets lit up on the Red Sox side, how Gilbert will respond. But I got to believe that Gilbert will get his strikeouts tonight.
You think so? Yeah, because what do you have? 7+ Ks and 5 out of his 6 starts. Didn't they? I think books have it at 6.5 tonight. But you think he's going to go long enough to where that could be worth a look?
Yeah, and it's funny that he's 4-2 to the over, because one of those unders, he had 7 strikeouts and a 7.5 total, which always kind of burns when you get that far. But when you look at the Red Sox, and as far as what they've done against opposing starting pitchers, 387 strikeouts this year against starting pitchers, and that right now ranks 3rd most in Major League Baseball, behind the Rockies with 435, which isn't shocking, and the Angels with 401. Red Sox are 3rd overall in Major League Baseball, most strikeouts against opposing starting pitchers. So I would take a shot there with Gilbert on the over.
Yeah, you mentioned the Rockies. Pauly and I brought this up a little bit earlier. It feels like a very hefty price to be laying tonight with the Washington Nationals. It's Irvin against Palmquist. I think your numbers might suggest the Rockies' first 5 might be worth a bet.
I mean, Mitch, Colorado's on fire in the first 5. They're 7-4-12. I mean, I don't know how anybody can ignore that, but they've done well recently. Got to give Colorado credit. I feel like after the real change with Bud Black, that they've been competitive early on in these games. I understand against Atlanta, they lost games late against.
Oh, okay.
Okay, yeah, we'll try to reconnect with Kevin. Lost him there. I'll give you some of the numbers here that he has on the Rockies Nationals. Nationals 2-9-2 in their last 13 in the first 5. And in the last 9 versus lefties, they've led twice in the first 5. That's it. Meanwhile, as he said there, I was cutting up a little bit, but the Rockies 7-4-1 in their last 12 in the first 5. So, and that was one of your first takeaways today when we first kicked around the MLB card. You're like, this is a big number here for Washington to be laying in this game.
They've lost 9-10. Just got swept by Miami at home.
Offense is in horrendous form right now.
Yes.
That was Gore yesterday going against Miami.
Yeah. 8-0 underrun, first 5 Skeens. How about that?
Okay.
8 in a row for Skeens, first 5 under. That is strong, too.
We got Kevin back. We rattled off those numbers in the Rockies-Nationals game that you have for tonight. What do you have for Angels-Yankees tonight, Kevin?
Yeah, sorry about that, guys. With the Yankees, they've gone a little cold recently in the first 5 innings. The last 4 games, no runs. They didn't score a run in the Kansas City finale on Thursday, And then against the Red Sox, they didn't score any runs in the first 5, so you wonder if they'll bust out tonight. And you look at Soriano of the Angels. I heard Matt Vasgersian mention earlier in the show about the 12 strikeouts against the A's his last time out. Before that, he had 4 consecutive starts on an under run with a strikeout. So Soriano stepped up a bit against the A's his last time out. He had some good starts last year with strikeouts. It's been a bit down this year, but you wonder if Soriano can kind of build off that start. But also the Yankees offense now back at home after that rough series to see if they can kind of bust out a little bit tonight.
Do you have a single best bet on the MLB card tonight, Kevin?
The one I do like, Mitch, because the line just is very crazy to me. I do like the Orioles in the first 5. That this is Zach Eflin's first start against Tampa Bay since he got traded last year. And it was kind of funky that when they played each other later in the season last year, he didn't face them. It just was circumstance that he never faced the Rays when he went to Baltimore. And also when actually, I take that back. He faced them one time, and it was late in the season, and he was a minus 150 home favorite, and he lost that game. And now he's basically a pick 'em on the road. We see how well Tampa Bay has played. The Rays off the sweep of the Mets. I just can't see how there isn't a letdown with the Rays tonight after that big sweep, and Baltimore's off the sweep of the Angels. Baltimore's played better of late. They have some confidence. I know they're way behind in the standings, but I think that Eflin could be worth a look here, kind of in that revenge shot against Tampa Bay. I just can't think the Rays, even though they played well at home, I can't think that they're going to keep this up after this big sweep this past weekend.
Fair enough. We were talking about this during the break, and we kicked around the Conn Smythe about an hour ago as well. And I said I think there should be a bigger difference between Sam Bennett with the odds, and I know he's like minus 220 or minus, it depends on where you look, and Marchand's like 4-1 on his heels. I think it should be bigger than that based on the entire length of the playoffs. But you have a different perspective on it. Why do you think Marchand has a real chance here?
From this standpoint, I don't think he's going to win it, but here's my argument, Mitch, is that he saved the Panthers season twice. Game 3 against Toronto in the second round, scored the game-winning goal. That game, they're down 3-0 and pretty much done. He scored the go-ahead goal in Game 2 against Edmonton on the breakaway. Edmonton tied it late, and then he scored the game winner in overtime, has 3 game-winning goals in the playoffs. Bennett's been great, has all the goals on the road, but he has 1 game-winning goal in the playoffs. And also, Sam Bennett has 1 goal in the playoffs in a game that was decided by a goal won by the Panthers. All the other goals have been scored in blowouts or Panther losses. Marchand isn't with the Panthers. If he has to get traded there, they're not on this run. I think Marchand's I think his presence there has helped them. I understand if Bennett wins it, but I don't think we should count out Marchand because he's been a very important.
Okay, fair enough. In about 45 seconds here, you also keep track of everything in the WNBA. Give us one great nugget that you have right now in that sport.
9 consecutive first quarter unders for the Atlanta Dream.
Yes.
It's unbelievable. All these low scoring unders. And I'll give you one more. The expansion Golden State Valkyries are 7-3 ATS in the first quarter of this season.
Wow, very good. There you go. Follow him on X, by the way. He is at Rogers Picks with PrizePicks. That was awesome, Kevin. Thanks for the time. Good luck tonight, okay?
You got it, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Kevin Rogers on the Progressive Guest Line.
Atlanta plays New York tomorrow. 6 games in the WNBA.
9 straight first quarter unders.
That is strong.
Already.
All tickets cashed the same.
Of course they do.
Good stuff. That's a pretty good case for Marchand.
I can't disagree.
Yeah. Good case.
Put me in my place. We'll recap our bets from the weekend, tell you what we have added for tonight and beyond with In Pocket plays next here on VSiN.
To determine the winner of any given college basketball game.
Someone gives you 10,000 to 1 on anything. You take it. Take it. Take it.
I bet you $20 I can get you gambling before the end of the day. No way. I'll give you 3-1 odds. Nope. 5-1. Nope. 10-1. You're on.
Under 5.5 games, NBA Finals, no good. No hole-in-one, U.S. Open. 1 under. How difficult did that course play? That they got me. Perez gets me. I thought I put up a little top. Ben Griffin, top 5, 9-1, finished 10th.
I thought you had a top 10 too.
Yeah. That was 5-1, I think, 4-1. No good there. Bob saves over. That streak comes to an end. We live on, though. Ekholm blocks over again. 12-1 overrun. That's one winner. Try to fix it, turn it around. I think we will. Some good stuff could be headed our way. Pivotal game 6 tomorrow. No hat trick, -190 for the series. No shutout, -120. Panthers in 6, +475. Bennett to win the Conn Smythe, 30 and 22-1. It's now -$2 to win it. 10+ goals in a game. No. -170. Tonight, Chet under 3s, 1.5. 1 combined the last 3 games. Perry, shots on goal, over 1.5 tomorrow. Every game has gone over that. He's 5-0 to the over. He's 1.5 again tomorrow. Ekholm, over blocks. It's up to 175 now. 12-1 overrun. Good luck, everyone. Let's cash some big tickets tomorrow.
I'll get to mine here in a second. Thanks to R. Johnson on X for sharing this. We were just there broadcasting for like 4 days.
I can't believe it.
At Rocco's, right across from the stadium, as they're getting ready. LSU's playing UCLA. That first pitch is like in 15 minutes. I have a bet on that game. That place, that's Paul Skeens and Libby Dunn.
Is it?
They're both there.
Paul Skeens just did the Jello shot challenge.
He's updating the Jello shot board. They're both on hand. If you could fit, where's the fire marshal? I'm joking.
We got to get Kevin on that.
Oh, mamma mia, that place looks. How do you even get in there? And the LSU fans.
Oh.
They're up to more than 16,000 Jello shots.
Is that right?
Yep. I did not have the winner at the U.S. Open. Scheffler, Rahm, DeChambeau, Aubert. I added some long shots as well. Those were all losers. I lost 2 units betting the U.S. Open. Not a lot of fun. McIntyre was one of them. Almost pulled it off. Would have been fun. But that was a loser.
Yep.
Pending. I've been told I should bet some SGA over tonight in a hedge spot here. It's 33.5, 34.5. He's averaging about 32.75 points per game right now. He's currently under. I think he has a big game tonight, though. I think he's going to have a ton of usage, and like combined, the field goals and the free throws might be touching 40 tonight. But
can we back up a second? Let's talk about this. This is fun. I think you could have monetized your ticket a little bit, but you were worried about maybe a 3-way playoff.
I was worried about Hovland coming in and stealing the show. Yeah,
it's interesting because at that point, it got to where Hatton and Burns imploded at the same time.
Right. And I wasn't worried about them.
So to me, it was still only it was either McIntyre or Spawn. I thought
and maybe Hovland, Vic the Brick feeling you Hovland.
Interesting.
But it's so
but I still.
So this is how quickly the odds were changing.
Yep.
And I'm looking at every app that I can possibly search, right? And I have McIntyre getting 100 to 1. I'm like, man, if he would have closed even, I would have loved my ticket. But he's at 1 over. I thought it was probably down to him and also Spawn at that time, probably. But this is the tricky part about hedging golf. Hovland had a chance to backdoor it, and then who knows what happens. But Westgate had -105 on both golfers. That was it. Those were the only 2 guys they had on the board. As I'm looking, I'm like, okay, I need to bet some of that right now. That's when Spawn hit the shot on 17. And it was like, by the time I had a chance to make a bet, the number was gone. Yeah, and he turned into a $3-4 favorite at that point.
He was a $4 favorite after the shot.
Yeah. So it was bang, bang.
But he came down, though. Once he missed the eagle putt, he came back down.
A little bit.
But
I could have hedged on him at $3.
Yeah.
And Rex Byers had this on Twitter. Terrific tweet. He said a little bit of game theory here. If I'm Hovland, I don't putt. I don't give him that line. He still had a chance to win the thing.
Yeah.
I chip. Maybe I can chip it in. And that way,
not bad.
Spawn has no idea what the read's going to look like. I don't hate it. Mm-hmm. So, Skeens is on hand tonight. Livy Dunn is there as well. I'm on the under. LSU and UCLA, 9.5, better at even money. And that's my play that I have on the board tonight.
You got to be a little pissed off, right? We just missed it by a day. Oh! The Pirates play Detroit in Detroit tomorrow. And then I think Skeens goes Thursday.
Oh, he's got plenty of time off.
Paul
then.
Skeens is there. LSU fans all over the place. Oh, it's got to be madness.
Oh, boy.
And Arkansas just won in the third ever no-hitter, and the guy set the strikeout record.
19 of them. What a day.
Oh, Kevin's got to be print money. Want to make smarter football bets this season? Start with VSiN Pro. Limited time, grab our football special at the early bird rate at just $175. Full access from now through the Super Bowl. What a deal. Our NFL betting guide, the ultimate playbook with team breakdowns, power rating, and season-long best bets. Can't wait for that. Everyone has a plethora of futures. It's fun. The morning email from Bill 80. Every best bet, every host, every guest. The betting splits, DraftKings, and Circa. The live and on-demand shows, the VSiN Watch app. Get it now. What a special. Early bird deal. Whole football season, $175. VSiN.com/subscribe.
We have some movement on the NBA game tonight. Several books now with the total going to 223.5. And would you look at that? Numbers now down to 9. At most books. Not all. At a lot of them, though, they're at 9.
Okay.
Oklahoma City favored by 9 and total coming down to 223.5.
Right? 1-0 Phillies already, too.
Yeah, they got to Sandy in the
After
first.
Sandy already. Who had a home run?
Trey Turner to lead it off.
Yeah, he's got good numbers. I should have mentioned it. He's got good numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Damn. Yep. I can't believe it. I could go for 3 Little Pigs, too.
Oh, strong pizza at
Pizza
Rocco's.
was so good.
Very good. I tried the pickle pizza.
How was it?
Because I had never heard of such a thing. Mm-hmm. And I don't love pickles. I like them. But I thought pickle pizza with chicken and a little garlic parm on the pie, it was good. The 3 Little Pigs was better.
Yes.
But that's their most popular pizza there.
I forgot to take the tour. He was going to give me a tour Saturday morning. The previous night, they ran out of beer at like 10 o'clock. Yeah. They delivered 300 cases while we were doing the show there. The next morning, the Bud Light truck's right behind us. And then every spot I have is I got to put beer in there. I've got because it's like you got to have it.
Sure,
can't run. He's got you got Busch Light everywhere. And
they're gonna have to have another delivery here early evening.
Yeah,
with that crowd. Is Derek Stevens still there?
I thought they came back today.
This could go down as one of the best days in the history of the College World Series.
Yes,
you have a 19 strikeout no hitter, not combined by one guy for Arkansas. In the place is packed. Like by the way,
third ever, first since 1960. Think about that.
And then empty out the crowd. Who knows how many LSU fans are there? The place holds 26,000. There might be 50,000 outside the stadium. And oh, by the way, Paul Skeens serving up Jello shots, and who knows what Livy Dunn's going to do? Maybe the splits again. Did you see that?
No, I didn't. I missed it. Damn.
He was on some sort of a swimsuit runway, and or whatever it was. And her decision was at the very end to do the splits right on stage.
Oh, sure. Great.
Yeah.
I think the LSU fan, that guy with the brought the tiger, the parade float, I think the guy's job is just to drive around the block. Because remember, we saw him 3 times.
They hired a guy.
Yeah, I think that's what the guy just does.
Hired a guy, huh?
Because the vehicle had all these speakers on it, and they're just playing like Born on the Bayou and all songs about Louisiana. I think all he does is drive the thing around the block.
He drives it there from Baton Rouge, and then he stays the whole time.
Right, sets it up, right?
Wow.
Missed the seafood gumbo, though.
Yeah, we
wanted to try it, but it wasn't going to be ready for a while.
To their credit, it's one of those things where it's going to take a minute, right? They said there were at least 2 hours left on it before it was going to be ready.
Bad beat. Here we go. Yep. Here's the seafood gumbo. LSU tailgate before the game. Yeah. This was Saturday.
And by the way, if you want to canoe down the river, there's the oar you're going to use.
Oh. That is strong.
Got to go to a football game sometime.
Yeah, you nailed it. Can you imagine what that's like?
No, I can't.
Because I didn't even see the tailgating area behind the stadium until we left and we were going to the airport. Yeah. I mean, that was a madhouse. And how they do it, the total pros.
Best case scenario is what? We're talking about a Pacers win tonight? Then we really got some juice for the finals?
No. Thunder win. SGA tweaks his hammy.
Oh, Jesus.
What do you think of that? Then what do you do?
You're going to put that out there?
You asked me a question about the best. Yeah. Yeah. Because then what do you make the number? What does he mean to the power rating? That's what I'm talking about, man. Come on. Let's go.
You said it, not me.
2-0 Colorado. Come on.
Prime time next for 4 hours and cashing out. Wake up with Dave and Jensen tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. We'll see you.